and depression, mild depression. Like I was able to still actively function, which is why I'm not so shocked anymore when certain women do tell me, because I know you're able to function. That's just how powerful a woman is that you can still function while you're not functioning. You get me? Like while there's a malfunction, you can still function. Okay. So literally it was a moment and it was a paradigm shift where my mind literally did not accept it anymore. It was as if, you know, people who say they like wake up and they don't want to smoke cigarettes anymore, but they've been smoking for years and years and years and years. I had been in this relationship. I knew what had came with it. I was okay with what had came with it. I didn't like it. I didn't want it, but I accepted it. And then one day I woke up and it was in the midst of me literally in another situation again. And it was a switch in my brain that literally said no more. Just like that. Saved my life. And when the people ask me, like, how did you leave? I literally woke up in the midst of another situation happening. Meaning going through it. Clothes getting thrown everywhere. Already got smacked up, choked, all of that. And I literally said, in my brain, as I'm going through it, it was like an outer body experience. It's as if I'm going through it, but in my brain, I'm having a convo with myself, as in this will never happen again. So much so that I started to speak it out loud. Calling me names, all the stuff, and I said, and that'll be the last time. And that'll be the last time. And I kept saying it to myself, and it was the last time, for sure. It was the very last time. And I literally going through the peeling back of the layers, the peeling back of everything, confronting it, and not just confronting it, but uprooting it, saying I don't, like I talked about this the other day, like pain doesn't just go, you have to release it. And me releasing the pain, meaning I see you, I know you're a part of me, and now I release you. I don't want it anymore. Then saying, if I could do this, and I've been saying this for the past 30, 60 days, if I can do this in depression, in anxiety, in sadness, and just abuse, if I could do this, what could I do if I was healed and whole? What could I really accomplish? And in this business in particular, it was a perfect transition. It was as if I lived this life one day, and the next 24 hours I was living a completely different one. So what people saw, yes, they saw me do something in business that was amazing, you know, that was praiseworthy. But like I said on the other call the other day, I was not committed to chairwoman. You got to be crazy to think that I was committed to a check or there's no check. You could not write me a check for my soul. So I was on a soul hunt. I was on a soul mission, meaning I'm trying to get this together. This has to reach a new height. My frequency has to get higher than where it is. That's what made me dive so deep into the business, because I was reaching after a level within myself that I had never been before.
When I tell you, you spoke to my soul on that YouTube video, and everything that you're saying right now is why. Yeah, I'm getting goose pimples, literally, because, you know, it's not like I even at my altar space where I chant, I have I am chairwoman elite.
Yes.
Because I'm all the way up. Like I don't want to just stop. And I'm like P0 right now. Like I'm totally not even, but it's like, because I want to have fun with this. I want to own this journey, because I know, like, well, like you know, if I can excel in undergrad, grad school, and even motherhood, you know, if I can excel in my family and everything, why not I Am Mastery Academy? This is just a new thing that I don't know that I can learn about. So why not? But you're proof, you know, in my eyes, you're proof that, I mean, did you know anything? Did you know anything about this other than what did you know before you were just like, okay, I'm gonna try this? Right.
So the guy I was dating was actually in I Am Mastery Academy. So I was exposed to the information. I was exposed to events. I was exposed, but I never actually signed up. It was almost as if you're an IM and a friend that just comes over every day and just chills with you and travels with you, but they're not in the company with you. They're just always with you. That was me. I was exposed to it all. So I had heard the calls. I had heard Bob Proctor, you know, I had heard David Medici, all these people prior to enrolling, you know, but I had never enrolled myself. And it also just speaks to, you know, that confidence thing that I was talking about. I had always felt like he had the better personality for something like this. So I would just be better as the support. And it was also reaffirmed through things that he would say, you know what I'm saying? And when it came down to the money flow, that's just why, man, I'm just telling you, like, it can get so intricate, because I had a graphic design business at the same time that he was in IM Mastery Academy. Now, my graphic design business, you know, I was successful, meaning I built that from the ground up. I haven't worked a job since I graduated college. And that was 4 years ago. You get me? So I haven't worked a traditional job. I had a graphic design business. I started from the ground up, and I was making close to 6 figures designing. But he was in IM Mastery Academy and having no success. So the things that he would say, and the things that he would reiterate, and the things that he would the ideals that he would give, even though I was getting results, even though I was paying for everything, had me feel as though I'm not of worth in a space like this, which is so backwards, because I look at it now and I'm like, Taylor, you were making all the money. You were building a business, just not an IM business. Like, essentially, you're the hot stuff. But like we said already, the other people's projections, you see, he wasn't happy about himself. He wasn't fulfilled in himself. So he projected it onto me, and it was so strong that no amount of money or check or results or anything was strong enough until I decided that was done and over with. I look at it now and I'm like, he was, and outside of cheating, outside of abuse, even if none of that was present, okay, that man should have been worshiping the ground that you walked on, not because of monetary, but because of the value that you did. The fact that women are able to multiply in that aspect, it's amazing to me. I didn't even do as much work as him, but I was able to make more money because women have this multiplying aspect, you know, about their nature, about them. If you tap into that, I was just tapping into it on the design side. Now, when I became exposed to IM again, that was when I met my now boyfriend, Tez. Even him, he was even telling me, like, Taylor, I don't want you to build the business with me. I just want you to do it on your own. You could do it on your own. And when he said that to me, I did not believe him, first of all. And to him, of course, he's like, no, you really can. Like, you already built another business. Like, you have what it takes. And to me, I'm like, no, I don't. I don't even know if I could do something like this. I don't even know if I could coach people. I don't even know if people would listen to me. My personality, like, I'm very introverted. You know, I don't think this is something I could do. Now, mind you, these are just projections that somebody else gave me. It's not even something that I want to take on necessarily. But I was weighed down by them. I was with this person for 5 years. I think to myself, I probably would have been a woman-aire by now if I didn't have those projections on me. But I learned I did need that. And I was with this person since I was 18. So 18 years old. I'm sure you look at 18 much differently now than when you were 18. I look at 18 much differently now, and I'm 25. So when I see 18, I see a baby. I don't see an adult. I don't see somebody ready to process or understand anything. I see a child at 18 years old. My sister is 21, and I still be looking at her like that's a kid, because I think
your brain's definitely not finished developed until like you're 25, 30. So yeah.
Exactly. So you gotta think, I'm going through mental, emotional, sometimes physical abuse, 18 years old to 23. What is my confidence like?
Zero.
And my dad has always been in my life physically. Physically, he's always been there. But we've had our times. And I had a women's event maybe 3 weeks ago, and I told them, I said, you want to know when my life changed? I said I was 23, 22 years old. And yes, it's when this relationship is ending. I say to myself, I need to forgive my dad. When I tell you that unlocked the key to everything, because I didn't understand how that one thing was affecting everything. That's how bitterness and unforgiveness works. It takes root.
Arthritis.
It spreads. Like a cancer.
Yeah.
It spreads into everything. And one day I'm literally sitting there and I'm thinking of, in a woman's journey, how many aspects were affected by that? Self-confidence, self-worth, body image.
All of it.
Forgiveness. And you're right. Oh my God, you said it so perfectly. You only forgive yourself to the level that you value yourself. So I don't even have forgiveness, love for myself. I'm doing these things that people want me to do. I'm accomplishing these things that people said I should have. And my self-worth is at 0. Because of that unforgiveness and that relationship. And that was literally the switch. It was honestly like night and day. My life was like night and day. But I also was willing to do that work. I was willing to get really, really, I had to sit with myself. And I'm not gonna lie, even times in building the business, I tell my team all the time, you don't know how many times I've gotten off of Zoom and completely broke down after. I'm talking about, they didn't leave the Zoom like Taylor was sad. They left the Zoom like, yes, let's go get it. Woo! Yes, like I'm pumped up. And you would think I was on that same energy when I hung up on the Zoom. I wasn't. I was breaking down because I literally I'm releasing at the same time that I may be pouring out. And a lot of people, to build a business is one thing, as you know, a lot comes with building the business. But it just so happened that I also had the journey of building the business and building myself at the same exact time. So as you saw me grow in the business, you could see when I was really walking in that element, meaning you saw me maybe get a little nervous telling my story, maybe even cry. And then eventually you begin to see me kind of tell a story, but with power now. And now you see me tell a story and it's real short. It's like Taylor almost skipped over it. And you know what I'm saying? Like, so you saw the process with the business, it was literally synonymous with my personal journey, my personal growth to healing. Yeah. And now I'm a Chairman 10, right? Have a completely different lifestyle, completely different relationship. It seems as though like, wow, Taylor is really at the height, but I know it's because of my commitment and my journey to wholeness and healing. I could never be full of myself. I could never be prideful because I know what life, my ideas and decisions were leading up to.
That's wisdom. That is absolute wisdom. I mean, I have no, I literally have no comment other than that is wisdom, and it takes me back to the question about you rebuilding yourself. And so it's a 2-part question, because as you decided to reinvent yourself, that means, what does that look like to reinvent yourself? Because I've heard that a couple of times, even from my mentor. She's like, you're just going to have to create an alter ego. And I'm like, but I'm just starting to grow locks. But I'm just starting to how am I supposed to do this? I can't put a sewing in right now. What does that really mean to create this alter ego, or and really to build a culture? But that's my question: culture and alter ego.
It all starts with one question, actually. When I first met Tez, it's so funny how we actually began to date and how even just that initial decision of I want different had attracted us to each other. But the first thing he told me, it's a lot of things that he told me when I first met him that to this day, I see how it lined up. But the first thing he asked me, and he literally, and I didn't know how to answer. He literally said, and I said it on the Riyadh call, I believe, but he said, what do you want? Everything starts there. What do you want? To get anything that you want in life, you just have to have the desire. That's the only requirement. There is no other requirement to anything except to want it. Meaning, if you want it, if you desire it, you deserve it. There's no other requirement. No other requirement. So the alter ego, the recreating, it all started with, what do I want? And when Tez first asked me, I was like, what do I want? What do you mean? Like in business and life? He literally said, what do you want? And I'm like, in business and life, what do you mean? You know what I'm saying? No, what do you want? Just what do you want? And I was so taken aback because I'm like, first of all, this is not how first dates go. Second of all, doing this right? Like, second of all, I don't know. That's the real answer. Most people, we don't know. So it's like when you're going to a restaurant and you order, the waiter says, what do you want? And you say, just bring me something to drink. And they bring you a beer. You're like, I don't drink beer. Well, you said anything to drink. Like, it's the same thing with your life. You have to be very specific. You have to know what you're ordering. What do you want? So when I thought about it, what did I want? I wanted to be a woman who was warm. I kid you not. It was like the things that I wanted was like these words and these feelings and these emotions that I honestly had never experienced. I didn't even know if I could be that, but that's what I wanted. I wanted to be a woman who was warm because I had experienced it before. I wanted to be a woman like that. I also wanted to be a woman who was just confident. At the time, I had no confidence. You know, I wanted to be a woman who, when she walked into the room, she could command that room, like when she speaks. At the time, I didn't have a room to speak in, and I didn't have anybody to listen to me. You get me? But I wanted to be a woman who was full of forgiveness, who was just light, who was just a light, who was free flowing. And to be quite honest, I didn't know that this woman existed. Because growing up, a woman's intricate journey, I had never really received that from women who were older than me. So why do I love being a mentor? Because I always wanted a mentor. You know, a lot of the women that I had come into contact with, it would always turn sour one way or another. And it just made me so upset because I'm literally like, I'm the woman that actually wants it. I'm the woman that actually would respect it, that would honor it. Why does it have to turn this way? Why are we in competition? You know what I'm saying? Why am I a threat to you now when I look up to you, when I want to be around you? You get me? When I want to learn from you. And that was just always my experience. You know what I'm saying? So I literally was just like, I didn't know it existed, to be honest. I didn't know if this woman existed, but I wanted to be like that. And so what I did was, when I was recreating, it was really a lot of, it wasn't even a lot of like, some things were. It was like, do I really like makeup or do I not like makeup? I had to ask myself this, like, do I like dressing up or do I not like dressing up? Do I like parties or do I not like parties? Like, what are we gonna decide? Because people had made these decisions for me. And I didn't even know that I didn't make the decision. Somebody else made the decision. Like, Tez was taking me to a party when I first moved to Atlanta. And I was like, this is kind of cool. I actually don't dislike this. People had just told me that I should dislike these type of environments, but it wasn't that bad. I actually had fun. I was meeting new people. I was fellowshipping with different types of people. And it's just little stuff like that. But in reality, it was like, okay, then after that, it was like, okay, well, how would a woman like this respond to conflict? How would this type of woman, what time does she get up in the morning? You know, what kind of books does she read? What does she do with her money? So I'm getting lost in recreating this woman and just trying to be this woman that I don't even know that exists. And then you wake up one day and you are her.
Fairy tale fortune.
Or people see you as her. And you're like, I think I am her. I've been working on being like her. I've been writing down things like her. And now I am her. So I do tell people, you know, the Womanaire is I say it's two different people. So Womanaire is different than Taylor. But in reality, Taylor just created the Womanaire. The Womanaire is who Taylor always wanted to be. And they're synonymous, they're the same, but Taylor is introverted. Taylor would rather just be at home. You know, Taylor, you know, those are personality traits. But in reality, what we talk about recreating, rebuilding yourself, it's just who you always wanted to be, how you always wanted to be like. And my mom told me when I first left that relationship and and I came back to her house. I had to stay with her until I figured out some stuff. She said, Taylor, you can restart over whenever you want. This is the one shot you got at life. If you want to restart, you can restart. You can, and she told me, these are her exact words, you can completely recreate yourself. When she said that to me, I said, I can completely, meaning I don't have to be like this. I could be somebody else other than this girl, and I could pick and choose who I want to be. So I start I Am Mastery Academy, and I decide I am gonna be a strong boss. I know who I'm gonna be. But I'm not gonna run from who I was. I'm gonna use that as power. I'm gonna use my weakness as power. And I'm gonna practice using it as power until one day I can fully walk in the power that does come with that. So now I went from not even wanting to share, not even wanting to talk about it at all, to now talking about it any chance that I get, because I want to show the power in that. You said it, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said this. I want to put the power back into your hands. The power, you just have to take it back.
Yeah.
Take the power back. So that's what I did. I took the power back. I said, you're not going to use my story to keep me bound.
Okay.
I'm going to use that story to set me free.
This is healing.
Yes.
I don't think like the universe has called you and was like, now call her. Like, and have this dialogue, because that is it. That is it. And this is, I think I Am Mastery Academy is that vehicle for you. It can be, it can be anything you want. Like for me, it's like, I just want to be a well-developed, fully endowed woman who can do it all. Make my body oils. I got my lady of the house body oils. I'm doing that. I got my therapeutic practice. I work at an agency. I still have a 9-to-5.
Yes.
And then it's like, and then I want to do other things. I have dreams. I want a nonprofit. I want to be the woman who can do it all. But you still need a vehicle to do that. And what better way to take your power back than to say, you know what? Let me get into this trade.
Yes.
Like, instead of borrowing money from the bank, seeing, if somebody will loan it to me, if I want it that bad, if I really need that $10,000 that bad, then all the opportunities are right there.
Yes, absolutely. And it's just, it's funny how things work, because you get started in this opportunity for money, and what you get out of it is priceless. You can't even put a price on it. You can't put money on it. But the reason why I think it's through the realm or the industry of money, literally, for it's literally money. Why I think that is because with money comes freedom. With money comes choice. With money comes power. So it's so interesting to me, even just on a completely different note, is just that when you are seeking after that internally, that you somehow also get lined up with people who are interested in self-development, people who are interested in investing, that meaning it's on the same frequency, meaning like the same frequency as the people who are seeking freedom and choice and healing and increasing their being. They're usually on the same level as the people who have monetary, like monetary blessings, things where they actually have, because they have good habits, they have discipline, they have clarity of mind. When I moved here, it's really interesting. When I moved here, I understood why certain people are bound at certain places that they are. See, people where I live, they get up early. They go on walks every single day. They start their day around like 6 a.m. You get me? Like, and it's no coincidence, just like how I said it's no coincidence that women all have this alike. It's no coincidence that the people who live here are all similar in that way, because it's just that same frequency. It has nothing to do with job title. It has nothing to do with background. It has nothing to do with that. It's literally the frequency that they're on.
The frequency of success.
Yes, exactly. Of success. Absolutely. It's like I told my leaders this morning, I said, success wears the same t-shirt. You guys have to understand that.
Man.
No, it's no secret, nothing. It's no different way. Trust me, you can go to somebody who's successful in barbering, somebody who's successful in sports. You can ask them the same questions you're gonna ask me, and you're probably gonna get a very similar answer. It's the same t-shirt. It's the same.
I only had one other question for you, and I think that because you're so thorough, and that's just like, what does last name first mean? Can you? I can't wrap my brain around last name first, other than putting yourself first. But
yes, and it's crazy. I did an Instagram live because people have asked me about it a lot. And my last name first is basically, when I was going chairwoman, of course we all have our goals of when we want to hit dates, dates when we want to accomplish goals. And I had my date set in stone, and close to chairwoman, I found out that my grandpa had lung cancer, right? And he could be passing soon. And so at the time, I'm going through so much in my business. Drama, losing friends. It just seemed like a lot of things were happening when I got the closest to the end goal. You get me? So I told myself, if it doesn't have to do with my last name, literally, like my family, I don't have time for it right now. I felt like I was on a timeline because he could be passing, he could be gone. And I wanted him to know that I hit 6 figures. I wanted him to know that I had accomplished something that I really wanted to accomplish. Because up until I Am Mastery Academy, I'd never really accomplished too much, other than graduating college, and by accomplishment, I mean something that I could be proud of, something that I did for me. School, I did that for my parents, so things that were for me, I wanted him to see that. I wanted him to see that. So at the time, it was a mantra for myself to remind myself, like, Taylor, you have to focus on your family. You have to focus on why you came here. You cannot focus on this person's opinion or how this person is feeling, because feelings aren't facts. You aren't doing this for them. You're doing it for your family. So you're gonna have to buckle up, get some backbone, and push, because this is literally the last leg. You cannot give in right now. And there were multiple times going chairwoman when I'm close, where I literally would tell Tess, like, I don't want to do this no more. Going chairwoman saying this, like, I don't want to do this. This is just, it's not worth it. It's no, but I really had to tell myself, like, no, Taylor, your family needs to see you do this. Your mom needs to see you do this. Your dad needs to see you do this. You're not doing this for anybody else but them. Let's say, for example, something happens to my brother. He's a young Black male. Never would hurt a fly. He's never gotten in any trouble his entire life. But in the state of where we are right now in our country, anything could happen. Who's going to be able to have the finances to help him? Me. Right. I have a little sister who, when I was in Atlanta, when I moved here, she was in school. She couldn't work during quarantine. So who's going to pay the bills? Me. I'm the only one. Like, when I really look at my family, if it has anything to do with finances, who has the greater chance of writing that check? At the time, it was me. Me. I'm the one who has access to a $7.3 trillion market. I'm the one who is on Zooms all day talking about this market. So when you line up my whole family, you're gonna end up on Taylor. I'm the one who God gave this opportunity to. So I took that on my back, as in my last name first. You get me? Like, there's nothing more important than my parents to me. Your opinion, like, when you really think about it, is how you're feeling right now, temporarily, more important than my mom? No. Is this mentor, how this person talks, is that more important than my sibling? No. It's a very easy, when you put it that way, it's a very easy, it's not more important.
Yeah, what price would I give? What's the price that I would pay to give up this value? It's so important to me, family.
Exactly. But sometimes, when you're going through things in the business, it can seem like your whole world is crumbling.
Because it can be emotional. It gets emotional.
It can seem like, especially when somebody leaves your business, or somebody, you hear somebody's talking smack, or whatever the case may be. It can feel like a lot. But when you really think about it, this or this, it's a very easy. So for me, it was the mantra to keep me on track. It was the way to reset my mind every time I felt it slipping. Like, oh, no, we're focused on this. Your mom needs to see this. Your family needs to see this. My whole entire family trades now.
I love that. I love that.
Literally. And now I think to myself, see, it was in all the things that happened prior to going to chairwoman, guess what? When I went chairwoman, they all went away. So that's why I'm so glad I didn't choose to pour into that and give more energy to that, because it was going to fall off anyway. They say that an eagle, when like an eagle, what they do is they try to like eat out of the crow's nest, right? And so what the crow does is that when they see the eagle, they jump on the eagle's back, because naturally speaking, a crow could not take an eagle. It's so much bigger. But all the eagle knows how to get the crow off. All the eagle has to do is fly higher. It just needs to increase its altitude. When it's, because the eagle can soar at a higher altitude than a crow. So when the eagle increases its altitude, the crow falls off. See, that's what people need to do in this business. There's a crow on your back, you just increase your altitude. You just go higher. You just go higher. The crow is gonna fall off. The problem is gonna fall off. The people, the naysayers, they're gonna fall off. You just have to increase your altitude, because negativity, gossip, it can't live up there. You're just flying too low. That's all. That's why you're dealing with it, is because you're flying too low. Increase your altitude, it'll all fall off. Because it can't live up there. It can't, the crow literally cannot breathe that high. It cannot survive that high. So guess what? Naysayers, people who are quitting, people who are complaining, people who are comparing, they simply cannot live up there. So what do I want to do? Either I decrease myself and get used to that, or I increase my altitude to where they can't even survive. As a chairwoman, I'll tell you this, because you're building the business. As a chairwoman, the things that you deal with now in the business will not survive when you go chairwoman. Meaning, you will not deal with them. People don't tell me anything is a scam. People don't tell me that. You must be crazy. You're not going to be able to tell me that. People don't tell me that this doesn't work. There's certain things when you increase in altitude, you just don't deal with it anymore. Now, of course, I dealt with it when I first started building the business, but I'm so glad I didn't focus on that I just increased my altitude. So that's definitely, what I would have to say. It's been an amazing journey, but always knowing that my last thing first. It's about my family. It's about who I'm doing this for. And that's why I said getting committed to that woman, getting committed to that other person that you want to create, because a rank is not strong enough. It's not strong enough of a push. If that's the case, we would go get 6-figure salaries somewhere.
Yeah, right.
Not strong enough of a push. That is not heavy enough for me.
Not for a woman of substance.
No, it's just simply not enough. What I got connected to, what I got really, really obsessed with, was becoming that woman, was becoming her, being who she is in her family, being respected by different types of people, being invited, having things fall into place for myself. That's the woman that I wanted to be, I want to focus on. And just by default, Chairwoman 10, just by default, disciplines and just having leaders, attracting conversations like this, leaders like this, because of that commitment. You get me? And so that's why I am so dedicated to talking about stuff like this. And I do feel like I have such a deep calling around it. And that's why I'm so grateful for that day last year. That day just put me on track to my purpose and destiny, but I had to fall. Yes, I had to fall very hard and in front of a lot of people, to be honest, but I would do it all over again. I really would, because now there's no price that you could pay for what we do. Yes, we set people free financially, but I believe that each and every single person in I Am, that's just the first part of our assignment, because that's what we're interested in. We're interested in making more money. So that's the first part of our assignment. The second part of our assignment is really utilizing that purpose to free others, mentally, spiritually, personally, emotionally, whatever it is, like we have the keys to freedom with this.
Yes, that's why I came back. I was like 2 years ago, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm in this relationship. I just started this job. This is a lot, you know. And then I hit my breaking point, and I just told myself in my mind, I'm gonna set this aside, but I'm coming back.
Yes.
But I mean, because of that, because it exposed me to something called success that I'd never seen before, like this, accessible to all.
Yes, absolutely.
You're the best. I just give so much thanks for your graciousness.
I really enjoyed this. I really did. We have to do it again.
Please, let's do it. We gotta have to go live. Yes, honey.
We're gonna have to go live.
Yes. Thank you so much, Queen. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Saturday, and I'll be in touch with you for sure.
Yes, definitely. And let me know any way I can help. Anytime we want to do this again, I'm definitely open. I appreciate you, for inviting me to this space. It's always healing for me. It's always healing for me. The more that I can discuss and talk, and trust me, I got a lot out of this too. So thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Okay. Have a wonderful night.
You too. Talk to you later.